I'm Eliot with Building Heritage, and we're here at the Mansfield Barn for the Week 12 review. We're actually partway through Week 13 right now, but we didn't do one at the end of last week, so we've got lots to look at today. So we're looking at the west end of the barn right now, where we've just finished clapboarding. So underneath the novelty siding you see here, there's that layer of 1/2-inch plywood for the structural diaphragm, and then we've got new novelty pine novelty siding that's been pre-painted, pre-primed and pre-painted, so that matches what was up here originally. You can see most of the red stuff that's on the long side here on the north side is actually the original siding, and the stuff below it is replacement that was milled right in Heinsberg, Vermont at Clifford Lumber to match the existing original siding. And so we, as I showed you a couple weeks ago, we had a lot of work to do on this long wall on the north wall to work with some unevenness at the existing level and trying to create a nice new straight line right about the window height, the lower window height, and feathering that into the old uneven stuff. So we had a lot of work to do on that north wall. Got new window jambs all rebuilt there. The sash just came today, all painted and ready to get installed. So we're working on that, and you can see the upper stuff has a coat of red paint on it, just so there's a little bit less high work that has to happen on this gable end. But at some point this spring, it will all have a coat of red paint on it. And we've also done some work inside, sistering some purlins during a rainy day last week. And we can go take a look at that. Inside now, we're looking at some purlin reinforcement that we had to do. Getting hit with tennis balls here for Cyrus. We're looking at some purlin reinforcement we had to do. We've got this bay happens to be 20 feet wide without any posts underneath the purlin. The purlin's the major horizontal beam that's right in the middle of the rafters, so it supports the rafters in their midspan. And so we're looking at 20 feet unsupported, and the purlin is just a 6x7. So what we've done here is we've laminated the sides of the beam with two 3x8s that are through bolted, and they go all the way to the purlin posts that are at the ends of the beam. And those purlin posts have little corbels that are bolted onto the ends of the purlin post and then catch that 3x8 on either side. So we've got two bays where we've had to do this. So we've got both purlins in this bay, and then the dry bay, which is the middle bay here, the span is much closer together. And then the next bay is identical to this one and is another 20-foot wide bay. So most likely tomorrow, with some crummy weather coming in, we will then do another 20-foot purlin reinforcement 2 bays over. And we've also gone through a couple bays down. You can see the middle posts in the interior. We've added some braces that were non-existent in the original frame. It's kind of curious. They were actually drawn on the timbers like they were intended to be mortised out, but they were never installed. And again, to make the structural engineer happy, we needed to add some bracing in there to again create some strength along the width of the building, because again, it's such a long, narrow building with not a whole lot of diagonal strength to it along its length. So yeah, that's about where we're at. We'll be finishing a whole bunch of stuff up this week. It looks like purlins will be done and siding will be done, and we'll get onto the roof next week.